7:30.
Okay.
Can you call roll, please?
Lori Kaminsky,
Here.
Belinda Grassi.
Here.
Denise Brewster.
Here.
Scott Fishel. Here. Dennis King.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. That brings us to the tax budget for fiscal year 2025.
2026.
Oh my gosh, 2026. Right. Turn it over to you.
I'll just read what's on the agenda here and kind of, and I'll pass out the tax budgets, kind of go through it real quick. The purpose of this hearing is to review the tax budget for the following fiscal year, which is fiscal year 2026. The tax budget provides justification for tax levies to support the operations of the district. The tax budget also provides the county auditor with other sources of revenue for the following fiscal year. The revenues and expenditures listed in the tax budget for the following fiscal year are from the board-approved 5-year forecast for the general fund and projected revenue for the permanent improvement fund based on historical collections and the county auditor Schedule A. This is projected spending plan of the district for the next school year. However, the tax budget does not provide any spending authority. Spending authority is established through the annual appropriations of the district. The tax budget hearing allows community input prior to the adoption of the budget, and the approval of this tax budget will be considered during the organizational meeting to follow this meeting. I'm going to go ahead and just pass this out real quick. This is available publicly on our board docs website. I'll just run through it real quick because we have 15 minutes. I'll have you start at the very last page. It's easier to start at the end and work your way to the beginning. Just on the way you put it together. So basically this tax budget's an annual exercise required by the county auditor. Depending on what county you're in, some counties don't do this process. Some counties do, like Lake County, we do like a very shortened process. Other counties like Geauga County have a much more involved public hearings with the budget commission, and it's a big deal. So, but for Lake County, it's more of an annual exercise. The very last page, basically, we give the county auditors, we list all of our debt, outstanding debt. So basically, the top portion shows our House Bill 264 debt from 2015 that was replaced lighting in the district. And then the bottom portion are our bonds from the construction of Parkside and Riverview. Those ones, basically we give this information to the county auditor's office so they can set the tax rate each year, because the tax rate needs to be able to collect enough to pay the annual debt service payments. But typically that tax rate gets reduced each year a little bit because our valuation. If you flip forward to the page before that, the statement of fund activity. So this one is, so basically we do one of these for each of our funds that collect tax revenues. That's a general fund, bond retirement fund, and permanent improvement fund. We don't do the joint financing district. That's actually done by the ESC, the Western Reserve. That's their responsibility, so it's on their tax budget. The permanent improvement fund, basically you're showing actual revenues and expenditures from 2023 and 2024, our current year estimate, and our estimate for fiscal year 2026. Obviously, we have some large projects going on. These numbers will change because it depends on what's actually liquidated, what are we paying out. You know, we're going to be in these larger construction projects, and you know what's actually going to be encumbered versus what's going to be expended during those next 2 years could vary, which is not uncommon based on historical trends as well. So that's just an estimate of what we think. It'll probably change, so it's, you know, and plus if we're borrowing for some of the improvements, that would be a different fund than the permanent improvement fund. We'll account for those separately. Moving forward to the page before that, bond retirement fund, we'll start at the bottom half, basically showing our actual for 2023, 2024, and our current year estimate and next year's estimate. Those ones are pretty accurate. We have a debt service schedule that's in place, so we know exactly what our debt payments will be. And then there's a few ancillary things like the property tax collection fees and the legal expense for annual continuing disclosure. So that one's pretty cut and dry. Only thing would change there if we end up being able to refinance our bonds at some point if interest rates come down to a certain level. Then for the general fund, same thing, actuals for 2023 and 2024, plus our current year estimate and estimate for next year. These numbers basically tie back to the 5-year forecast, with the exception of our 5-year forecast includes the joint financing district funds, so we had to take back those numbers out to present them on the tax budget. So that's where those numbers come from. So that one, you know, just basically comes from the forecast we approved in November. Moving forward, the page before that, Schedule B, levies outside the 10 mil limitation, that's blank. That's the county auditor's office fills that out once we submit this to them. And then going forward, the Schedule A on the first page, same thing. You can see the county auditor and budget commission columns for them to fill out. We just fill out the first column, which ties to the schedules that come that are on those following pages. So that's pretty much the tax budget. Open to any questions to the board, or if there's comments from.
Is the tax reappraisal of the properties reflected? Because you said we would know something in December.
We just got the Schedule A yesterday morning, so this was already done before that even came through. So it's based on our estimates, and I haven't had time to really analyze what those numbers are. The Schedule A only shows us our valuation in total, so it doesn't necessarily break out what's from the reappraisal, what's from new construction, what's from, you know, properties coming off tax exemption or anything like that. So you have to kind of back into it a little bit, but I haven't had time to analyze that.
So we would be able to get that at the next board meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but that's not reflected in this budget, or?
It's based on our projections from November.
Do you know what percent they came in at?
Our valuation came in a little, I think it was about 31% higher,
Oh.
but that's, you know, it's not just the reappraisal, it's other things that happen as well. So that was on the residential side, but I haven't looked at the commercial and public utility, because, I mean, it just came in yesterday, and I was in a lot of meetings yesterday, so I didn't have time to really look at it.
Okay, because I know we were thinking that it would probably be a little under 30,
Yeah,
so, but you'll have to back it all out and see
right,
where the real number is.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Make a motion to adjourn at 7:38 a.m.
Second,
Can you call roll, please?
Lori Kniske,
Aye.
Deborah Jassy,
Aye.
Liz Brewster,
Aye.
Scott Fishel,
aye.
Dennis King. Aye.
Motion carried. And we will not start the next portion until 7:45.